And we're back. We're making sausage again. You know, things change, things develop, new shit comes to light, and you gotta adapt sometimes. During our last sausage video, the hop sausage video, we had a 3-to-1 ratio meat to fat. We did 10% of weight as a liquid. We did our 1.67% salt, 0.25% pink salt. We're gonna stick with those. We're gonna switch up the fat content. Here's what happened. Pigs that were coming in were really fatty. A lot of intramuscular fat, a lot of marbling in the hams, and that threw off the fat balance in our sausage. They started busting out, they started rendering out a lot of fat and liquid. That's not what we wanted. They started pooling up, the casing started to go to shit. It was a disaster. We cut the amount of fat down. We're doing a 4-to-1 ratio now. That's gonna be 20% instead of 25% fat to meat. We're also doing a 5% total liquid. So we're going from 10% down to 5%, 20% down from 25%. We're also gonna focus on interior garnish this week. So a lot of people make jalapeno cheese, or maybe you do a different type of cheese and pepper. Maybe you do a chile relleno, maybe you do a Pekin cheddar, maybe you do a Monterey Jack and other kind of habanero or something like that, whatever. So you have to have the right kind of cheese. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. You also have vegetables that you're putting into your sausage. That throws off the water content. We're also gonna discuss how to put in different types of garnish that are maybe have water content, maybe don't have water content, and how we kind of adjust the sausage to that. But it's also October, Oktoberfest. We are making a German special. We're not gonna do any beer in it because beer brats are overplayed. What we are gonna do is a pretty classic German bratwurst with a few cool additions. We're gonna put some mustard seeds in there. They're gonna hydrate, they're gonna pop. It's gonna be beautiful. We're also gonna do some Jarlsberg cheese, a little mild, the perfect consistency for a sausage. So let's go. Here we have some ground ginger, some ground caraway, and some white pepper. This is gonna give us the classic flavor profile we're looking for in the bratwurst. It's gonna be like all these separately, you don't necessarily say bratwurst, you won't think bratwurst, but once we bite into it, and once we kind of get that floral scent in the back of our mouths, then we're really going to say bratwurst. We've also got some mustard seeds. We're going to put those in after we grind. They're really going to pop. Another thing, we're going to grind this twice. Our last sausage we ground one time. We want that coarse ground texture for our classic barbecue sausage that we would normally want on the menu. For this sausage, it's a bratwurst. We're going to grind it a little bit finer. We're going to grind it once through the big one and then once through the small one to kind of really mix everything up. We've also got our Jarlsberg cheese here. There's 2 different types just because that's what they had at the store. There wasn't enough of the good kind, so we also got Jarlsberg Light. We've also got cream. That's going to help with the color and a little bit of extra fat content and just to kind of help bind everything. And then we've got our ice. Also, a little bit of preserved lemon zest. These are our COVID preserved lemons. We did these, we preserved these right after lockdown started, so they got about 6 months on them, and they're ready to use. So this is the pieces of ham. This is also a little bit of extra ground that we got from our purveyor, our pork purveyor, Peaceful Pork. They just sent us an extra bag of ground pork that we can just kind of throw into the sausage and bulk up our sausage. This has all been on cure overnight. 1.67% salt, 0.25% pink salt. We're going in with the spices, ginger, caraway, white pepper. We're gonna go in with the preserved lemon zest, 40 grams of ground caraway, 15 grams of ginger, 15 grams of white pepper, and about 30 grams of preserved lemon zest. Got about a pound of ice. It's gonna help keep us cold and add a little bit of extra liquid. And we've got about 1 pound, 1 pint of heavy whipping cream. I'm gonna mix this up by hand a little bit, and then we're gonna go through the grinder. We're talking about interior garnish, inside the sausage. I'm talking about when you cut into that sausage and you see that beautiful piece of cheese that just stays there. It doesn't gush out. It doesn't separate and put all the grease out. If you put some kind of vegetable in there, it doesn't like put all the water out and just break the consistency of your sausage and break the bind. What we're using here, we're gonna have some mustard seeds. They're gonna hydrate nicely. We have some Jarlsberg cheese. This is a nice little Swiss cheese that's gonna go really, really well with our bratwurst. This has been ground twice through small die. That was kind of tedious. The cream has kind of made it a little bit lighter in color, and all of the ground and the chunks that we took from the ham are all mixed in there together. So we're going to go in with our mustard seed. I didn't want to grind these up, that's why I'm adding them here afterward. Same with the cheese. When you're adding vegetables to your sausage, if it is something that's going to leach out a lot of water, like if you put in a pickle, or if you put in just a raw white onion, or if you put in maybe some kimchi or something like that, it's going to have a lot of water in it. I would suggest probably running it through the dehydrator at least partially before putting it into one of your sausages, or at least kind of cooking it down and evaporating some of the liquid in it. You see people add caramelized onions to sausage. That's why that doesn't happen with that stuff. Potatoes. When we do the Thanksgiving split later in the fall, a couple weeks from now, we will cook some sweet potatoes and freeze them and add them to here so they don't kind of break down when we're mixing it. We've added beans, pinto beans. We did a bean and cheese sausage. We did the same thing, cooked the beans till they were tender, put them on a sheet tray, put it in the freezer, and then added them frozen. Keeps the consistency together, keeps them from mushing up, and it keeps the sausage cold. Kind of like we're kneading bread. Just get under it. Ugh. All right, we're good to case. I'm gonna case this up. Hey there. We're linking sausage. In the past, we've done big long coils or about 1 pound links. These are a more traditional sausage as a bratwurst, so I'm gonna actually link them. What I was doing here was kind of going 1 revolution on the caser, on the stuffer here, and that's given me approximately about 1/4 pound link, a little bit bigger than my palm. I just kind of did 1 revolution, pinched it off, and then with that pinch, that's kind of the start of my next link, and that will give that will force enough pressure on the top of it to where I can link it, and it'll be nice and taut all the way through. But now that these are all linked, I need to go back and twist them to just make sure they're nice and tight.
Nice and plump.
We'll do this. There's a few different ways you can do this. You can just kind of twist like that and then go to the next one and then twist the other way, or you can just skip that, and then that way you only have to worry about going one direction. Just skip a sausage.
Okay, we got this smoker full of bratwurst. We're gonna put some hardwood smoke on them, and then we're gonna drink them with some lager and pilsner beers later. Right out of the Midwest. It's full of Jarlsberg cheese.
This is how the bratwursts look after 4 hours smoking at 150. You can see they've developed a really nice color, but they're not fully cooked yet. To heat them up, all we do is put them on the smoker and take them to 165 internal, and then they'll start to look something like this. To carve for service, we remove the little tips. Don't let anybody tell you those actually taste good. And then we're just going to slice into pretty big bias cuts using the full length of the knife and even pressure. Don't press down too hard, cut them into nice 2-bite pieces. As you can see, the cheese is staying in place, looks great, isn't juicing out anywhere, and the mustard seeds have hydrated nicely.